Hi, welcome back to Smoking Cheltenham. How you doing? Hope you're good. Hope you're having a good week. A little bit of a bonus video for you today. I haven't got much time, so you won't be needing a flask out. I just thought I'd give you my thoughts on the weekend's racing. Just got a few selections there, and yeah, we'll have a little, only a smallish sort of ante-post bet 20 to 1 for Christmas as well. We'll do that at the end. So yeah, try not ramble too much through this one. Friday, Cork, yeah, tomorrow, 12 o'clock. We've got Kelhistoya and Kilgame making the seasonal debuts in the Novice hurdle. Yeah, you want to be watching this race. There's been a bit of chat about both these. Could be two smart novices, these. From a betting point of view, I won't be having a bet, but it's just a race to watch. We could get some Cheltenham clues from that. Either one of those or maybe even both could make up into Cheltenham contenders. And then, yeah, also at Cork, Spindlebury. She makes her chasing debut in the Mayor's Chase. Yeah, she ran Jay DeGrugy pretty close in the Grade 1 at Fairy House last year. Don't think Jay DeGrugy was at her best that day, but that was still a big run from such an inexperienced mare. She could take high rank amongst the sort of mares chasing this year. She could be a sort of contender for that mares chase at Cheltenham. She'd be fairly high on my list on that. Like potential horses for that race. From a betting point of view, you can get odds against. I'd say she's a bet, but I'd say that might be optimistic. But we'll see. You never know. Sometimes they surprise you. I won't be taking odds on, but yeah, odds against. She'd be a bet and she'd be the selection there. Cheltenham, yeah, good card at Cheltenham tomorrow, isn't it? It really is. It's interesting. We open up. We've got the 12-10. That's nice, and Wingmen. Look, the two to focus on here. So, watched Wingmen last time. If you watch that race, you wouldn't be in a rush to back him going left-handed, and for that reason, I thought that's nice. Word a fair bet for this. He's got a bit of a reputation, Wingman. I was expecting, him to be put in favourite. I thought I'm going to take him on with this. That's nice, with Nicky's. But yeah, they put him in the other way round. So just call me a little bit. I'd say she's a better odds against. She goes odds on. I won't be interested, but she's 11-10 at the minute. I'd say that's borderline. That's just okay for a bet. I've had a little bit at 11-10. If you're patient, you may do better, or it could go the other way. I'm not sure, But 11-10, yeah, she's the selection and should be the bet there. So I'm only briefly talking. I'm not going into much depth on these, I suppose. Next race, 12:40. Looks a good novice chase, this, doesn't it? Caldwell Potter's been put in the odds on favourite here. We've got a couple in the race who I think are just mark hunting. They look like the candidates maybe for that 2.5 novice handicap at the festival, and they'd be Springwell Bay and Dan's horse there. So I think this is going to be another match, and I think that match is Caldwell Potter and Django Bay. Now, we like Django Bay, and I think anything sort of 2-1 or better, I'd make him a bet. I've had a bit on him myself, around 5-2. Yeah, Nicky rarely starts novices at Cheltenham. He's not a fan of that, so I'd imagine he's been really schooling him, pleasing him in his schooling. So yeah, and we liked him last year, didn't we? He did us a few favours. think he could be a really decent novice. And so when you were sort of making a race, a sort of 2-horse race, even if you think it's kind of 50-50 between them, if you're getting 2-1 or better for one of them, then that's a decent bet. And yeah, so I think I like him, I do. Yeah, that's Django Bay. Apart from that, 150, I like Chanty Classico, but he's a little bit short for me. As a betting proposition, it'd be the selection, like, you know. But I don't think I'll be playing him at the price he is. I'd want nearer threes, really, which looks unlikely. So that's tomorrow. Saturday, I think Willie's after winning that beginners at Fairyhouse, isn't he, that opens the card, the 11:30. He's got Masborough, Asian Master and Tulliel all entered up there. Asian Master and Tulliel, you know, look fine chasing types, they do. Big lads up on Asian Master and he pulls up on Tulliel, and Mark is but for Masborough. Big horse Masborough, isn't he? I think they're giving it as around yielding at the minute. You know, I won't be shocked if he gets pulled if they don't get any rain. You know, he won't be wanting to run in 2 mile on sort of quickish ground first time out, I wouldn't have thought. Asian Master and Tulliel, though, they come from like the Supreme, don't they? And as we were saying a little while back, I'm not sure about that Supreme form. Whereas Masborough's coming from the juveniles, isn't he? And that form looks really strong this season. So the selection would be Masborough if he runs here. But again, you know, the prices, I'm not sure, they're not priced up yet. I won't personally be backing him at odds on. If I can get odds against for Masborough, I'd probably have a small bet on him. It'd be the selection. 322 that closes the card, the bumper. Willie's got a couple in here, you never know, do you, what you're running into, but I did think Swing Davis last time ran with a lot of promise, sort of got quite far back and, you know, came with a good run, and then just, I think the effort of that sort of told. It looked a nice sort of educational introduction, I thought, and I kind of marked her down as a surefire winner next time. So I'd like Swing Davis in this race. You just never know quite what you're running into with when Willie's got a couple entered though, do you? But she's got to go close there, I'd say. So I don't know, we don't know the prices, do we? But I'd be maybe having a bet on her and she'd be the selection. Again, like, you know, we Willie having them horses there, I wouldn't be taking odds on. You'd want some sort of price for it. I think, you know, off the top of my head, I don't think I'd like to be going much less than 2, so, you know, around 2-1 plus. Like I said, you do these previews, so I mentioned it before, didn't I? And it is tricky a day or two before. You don't know the markets, you don't know the ground, and like I say, I can change my view as we get closer to the time. I don't like to put you away, but yeah, I'll just tell you my thoughts. And then at Cheltenham, 12:40, Peaky Boy. Yeah, I like him. He's in the Novice Handicap chase. No prices as yet. Yeah, he made his debut for Nicky at the track last month, didn't he? Looked a little bit slightly outpaced for most of the race. Looked like he was crying out for 3 mile to me. Won it nicely. I think this might be Nicky's Brown's horse. He's off a mark in the high 130s here in a handicap. I'd think he'd be taking this out, really, if you're thinking Brown's for him, you know. I'm quite strong on him. I like him. No prices yet. I just looked. The price most of the handicaps up for Saturday, but not this one. And this is the only one I'm really interested in, to be honest. As a general rule, I don't like going less than threes in handicap. I'm fairly rigid with that. Novice handicaps are a little different, aren't they? You know, I wouldn't be taking less than twos. That'd be disappointing if they put him in at less than twos. It's hard to say. I'd like 7-2, but you don't always get what you want, do you? Because it does look competitive. It's no penalty kick. There's some nice sorts in here, But when you're having a bet, you have to draw the line somewhere. I mean, you're not going to back the guy at 1-8, are you? So it's just where you draw that line, Wouldn't really like to take twos, really, but I may do. Looking at the race, you may get 5-2 early, and I'd take 5-2. I think that's fair enough. And I won't be surprised if you got supported into 6-4, 5-4 or something. But yeah, you like Peaky Boy there, and that's about it, to be honest. The big handicap, the 2.5 mile handicap, I'm not really too fussed, but my dad's a fair judge as well. I have many chats with my dad, and he's not one really for the competitive handicaps as well, but he likes Madara in that, so I'll pass that on for you. Don't think I'm playing in the race myself. The handicap that closes the card, we've got a Nicky JPOC here, haven't we? Joyous 119. She's about 5-2, I think. I'm probably not going to bother, but it should be a tentative selection there. 119 could be good, but I'm probably not going to be playing that myself. So when we look at that, then I think it's a weekend to be with Nicky. If Nicky has a bad weekend this weekend, then I think I've had a bad weekend, to be honest. The main selections would be, I'd say, That's Nice in the 12:10 tomorrow, Django Bay in the 12:40, and then Saturday 12:40 Peaky Boy. I like them three, and they're all Nicky's. They're three sort of definite bets for me, really. And I'll probably chuck a little Trixie and treble on them as well. My main bets are like win singles, but then I'll have a little sometimes. If I fancy a few, I'll chuck a little Trixie or something like that on. Personally, if I'm doing like a Trixie and treble, I always do the treble as well. So, whatever stakes you play to, say you have a £2 Trixie, I'd have the £2 treble as well. So you got 5 bets there, but when you hit all 3, it increases your win considerably. It's a nice little boost for just a small little bit extra. So I'll probably stick those 3 in a Trixie and treble. I hope Nicky has a good weekend there. Just to finish off, the Christmas one. We mentioned this fella before. Fiercely competitive handicap, the Paddy Power handicap, the 3 mile one at Leopardstown. Percival Legalwat, mentioned him a little bit ago. He's kind of creeping up the weights, isn't he? We're not quite sure how well handicapped he is. The trainers mentioned that, and maybe that's true. But when you look through his form, his 2 kind of standout runs, his last 2 have both come at Leopardstown. And he took out 3 mile handicap hurdle there. I think that was at the DRF meeting, and then since he's been chasing that 2-5 chase at the DRF, he was coming to challenge Hartwood, weren't he, that day, and came down at the last. They were well clear. that looked a good run. You know, Hartwood were absolutely thrown in that day, and even if he'd have gone down a few lengths, that had been much his best run over fences. So this is the first time he'll have been to Leopardstown since. There's two races for me. There's this one at Christmas, and then the 2-5 one again at the DRF he ran in last year. You know, he's fairly consistent. His jumpings, which were ordinary at best, has kind of improved a little with experience. He's not fantastic, but he's okay now. And I just think if he's going to pop in, you know, it's going to be one of these two. I think he's sure to be kind of on the premises in both races, and he may just fall in one. So I've kind of got a little project. I thought we'll back him each way for both races, and I'd be a little surprised if you don't end up in front on that little project. You know, he may bump into one or two that are just too well handicapped for him, but I'd be kind of surprised if he bumped into like 3 or 4 or 5. Like, you know, I think he's sure to go close. I'm just not quite sure he really wants the 3 mile. I'd probably just slightly favour the 2-5 one again for him. But, you know, he's going to be bang there, and he may just pop in. And he's 20-1 at 365. They're going first 4, and 16-1 generally first 5. So it's your own preference really if you prefer that extra place or the slightly bigger price. And it's one of those races where on the day you may get extended places, so you may get first 6 or 7, but you probably won't be getting the 20s or 16s, you know. So it's up to you how you'd like to play it. If you fancy a little go on that, it may be worth just having a little bit, whatever your stake's going to be, it might be worth having just a small bit of that now at the big prices, and then maybe having the rest of it, you know, on the day with the extended places. It's up to you really how you play it, but he'd be the selection anyway. I think each way. I don't do many each way bets, but you know, every race is different in it, and I just think in his case, you know, you look at his record at Leopardstown, them last 2 runs there, he's been consistently running kind of well. And if he does drop in and out, like I say, I think it's going to be one of those 2 races. And that's that then. Yeah, just a little quick video today. So I wish you all the best for the weekend. Best of luck, and I hope you make a few quid. And I'll be back on Monday, and we'll look back at the last week or so. Okay, all the best then. Thanks for your time. Bye.